And we are waiting for a verdict in the trial of the 3 men charged with chasing, shooting, and killing Ahmaud Arbery as he jogged through their neighborhood last year. The jury has entered its second day of deliberations, and earlier this morning, the jury requested to look at the video taken by William Roddy Bryant. They also asked to hear the 911 call made by the defendant, Greg McMichael. Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, she was seen arriving at the courthouse with other family members and supporters, and you see there Reverend Al Sharpton as well, and that was just a short time ago. For more, I want to bring in Alex Presha in Brunswick, Georgia, and legal analyst Terri Austin. Alex, you have been there in Brunswick since day one of this trial, and as the jury deliberates, what is it like outside the courthouse today?
Well, Stephanie, there's a quiet calm outside the courthouse. You saw that video of Wanda Cooper Jones walking in with her support. We heard from attorney Ben Crump, who has been a supporter of this family from day one. Also, the Reverend Al Sharpton also in town again today to show his support as these deliberations continue now in day 2. But overall, things have been relatively quiet, and that was also the scene yesterday. People are awaiting some sort of sign that there might be a verdict in this trial before the Thanksgiving holiday.
And Terry, we saw the judge this morning bring in the jury and told them to go ahead and deliberate. And now the jury, we saw, asked for video. They wanted to look at that video. Tell us about where they stand in reaching a verdict now that they've asked to see that video again and hear that 911 call again.
Stephanie, it's hard sometimes to predict what exactly that jury is thinking about. You don't know whether they're questioning the entire event or whether they're getting down to the nitty-gritty and trying to determine one way or another. I think they want to be very careful to determine whether or not this was self-defense or whether or not this was murder. And so they're looking frame by frame at that video. They're listening to the call. What was on the mind? What was the intent of all 3 of those individuals? Travis, obviously, who pulled the trigger, Gregory McMichael, who was the one who made that call, and so Brian also was the one in the truck and the one, as you said, taking the video. So I think they want to make clear and make certain that they're making the right decision here. It's a very serious case, and they're looking at it very carefully.
And Terry, does it seem as though the jury is really trying to get this done? I mean, they worked through lunch yesterday. They've requested to see that video today and hear that 911 call. What in your opinion, what do you think the timeline is looking like here?
I think they're very serious, and I think they want to get this done. They want to get it right, but I predict, and you never know what will happen, but I think they're going to try to finish up by the end of today. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. It's quiet outside, but I think what that means is people are trying to get ready for the holidays, and these individuals want to do the same thing. So they're going to get up early, they're going to work through lunch, they're going to work late, and I do think that they're going to try to get through that evidence. Hopefully they won't need to see video again. Hopefully they won't look too long over the evidence, but we do want to make sure they look at it carefully and they come to a decision based on what the evidence showed. So I do think they're going to try to get that done. Who knows? I mean, there could be some people who are holding out and we could go through the weekend, but it looks to me, based on their actions, based on their questions, that they're working through this very efficiently and that they will get the job done sooner than later.
There really is no telling at this point. Alex, you talked about the energy and the atmosphere there today, but there was a vigil held outside the courtroom last night for Ahmaud. What was the atmosphere like last night?
Well, Stephanie, as deliberations continued into the evening last night, we saw a prayer vigil here in this park in front of the courthouse. You're looking at a balloon release that the Arbery family did last night as part of that. But we heard from a lot of these community members who have been here from the start. There's a rabbi here who organized, but we saw pastors from all over this Brunswick area. I'd imagine probably about a dozen of them, and they They sat, they read scripture, they sang, all quiet because they didn't want to disrupt what was going on inside of the courthouse with the deliberations. So there was this balance, trying to make sure that everyone around them could hear, but also not being too loud, so that it might actually be heard inside the courthouse. But they gathered, and this was their chance to say, look, we as a community need to come together as we await this verdict. And again, showing solidarity with the Arbery family, but also starting to look ahead at whatever verdict comes down here. You know, there's going to have to be an acceptance, and then a reconciliation, and then a healing process, and that was the establishment of this path forward for them.
And Alex, if there is no verdict today and with Thanksgiving tomorrow, walk us through what comes next for the jury.
Well, so, Stephanie, that's really kind of like the $100,000 question, right? What's going to happen if they don't reach a verdict today? But we've gotten some guidance from the sheriff's office, and they're in a position to tell us because they are in charge of security around the courthouse. So we know that there is a contingency where, if necessary, jury deliberations could continue again on Friday, and then even possibly on Saturday. Now, again, that's only if necessary, but we do know that the sheriff's department is preparing for that as a possibility.
Alex Presha for us outside the courthouse there in Brunswick, Georgia. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.